Hello everyone, welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful tutorial, we're trying to build another GUI with all that you have learned in text summarization and document summarization with Python and SpaCy. We're building a simple GUI with Tkinter. So this is the app that we're trying to build. So this is just like a follow-up of what we did previously. So it's just the same idea, but we built a Flash app. Now we are building a GUI. We'll see how to work with it in Julia and then the rest. Right? So now let's see how to do that. So if I paste in the text here, it's a very interesting article, and I click on summarize, it's going to summarize it in a very nice format for us. So let's clear it, and in case I want to save what I summarize, I can just click on the save. It's going to tell me the name of the file that was saved as, using a timestamp and then the summary. So if I go back to my folder here, consider I have my file here, right? So if I open it, then I have my summarize test there. Okay, perfect. So that is what we'll be trying to build. And apart from that, I can go to the file, then open a particular file. So if I have a file like this, my file summary, and open this file and then summarize the test. This is quite a lengthy test. In case I want to summarize this, I can just click on summarize. Then it's going to summarize the test for me in a very nice and simple format, right? Which is very interesting. Okay, perfect. So I can just collect the result and then reset. Again, in case I have a URL, so let's say I have a URL like this, which is a very interesting article about Nikola Tesla, and I want to summarize this lengthy test. This is quite interesting and lengthy. I want to summarize this entire stuff and then read it. I just come to the URL option, paste in my URL, then get the test. So if I get the test, it's going to take time and then fetch the test from the particular URL for me, right? Which is Wikipedia page. Just very, very plenty. So in case I want to summarize this particular test, I just click on summarize. Then it's going to summarize it for us based on the length of it. Perfect. So just summarize the entire test, which is very, very lengthy here, into quite a simple one for me, right? So he was a polyglot. He spoke 8 languages: Serbian, Croatian, Czech, English. Wow, that means that Nikola Tesla knew a lot of languages. So I can just clear the result and then reset. Okay, perfect. So now let's see the next thing we can also do for the compare summary. So in case you want to compare different summarizers like SpaCy, like nltk, like Gensim, like sumy, you can also do that. So let's paste another test here. Let me paste this one. Then let's get this test, and then let's summarize this particular stuff. So you can summarize it with SpaCy, which is quite interesting. You can summarize it with maybe nltk. Then you can also summarize it with maybe Gensim or any of them, like sumy, and then any of them, right? You can summarize it with any of these particular packages. So that's what we're trying to build in this place, and then the about is just going to be something about this particular app. So let's see how to build this interesting and wonderful app in this tutorial. Okay, so inside my folder, I have this folder here. Inside this folder, we have 2 different files. We have this SpaCy.summarization and nltk.summarization. These are the packages that we use to help us to summarize with SpaCy and then nltk. Then there's just a test file. Okay, perfect. So we have nothing inside our file. So if I go with ls, there's nothing. There's just the 2 files, right? These 2 Python files and then this one. We're just going to create our file, the name of the file. Let's call it as, and let's name the name of the file as app.py. We'll change the name later, right? So app.py. So first of all, let's build our app. So the most important stuff we need is our core packages, and then we also need to get our NLP, and then we also need our web scraping packages. I don't know how to spell it, but I hope you forgive me. So that's the basic packages we need. So now let's start with it. So I'm just going to import our most important package. So import Tkinter as tk, and then we're going to import from Tkinter import all, right? You're going to import everything. Perfect. So that's the basic stuff you're going to do. And then the next thing we need to do is that we need to be able to build our window. So it's going to call it as a window or our frame, right? So window is going to be our tk. Then it's going to keep the geometry and then the size. So window dot title, then the title of our Summaryzer GUI. Then let's give it the geometry. So window dot geometry as previously we had, let's say 700. Quite interesting. Now we are done with it. So that is the basic stuff we are going to do. So the next thing we need to do is that we need to be able to set the loop so that it keep on running well. So window dot main loop. Perfect. So that's all that you're going to do now. So let's save it and let's run it and see. So Python app.py. Perfect. So it has built a very interesting GUI for us, right? So we have the first frame, which is the title that we have here, and then the size of it. So we are done with this. So now the next we need to do is that in the previous one that we had something like this. Let me position it well. We had some tabs here, right? So we need to find how to find the means of creating these individual tabs. Then you start working with all these particular stuff. So let's build our tab. So let's call it as tab. So this is going to be our tabs, right? So for the tabs, to build it, first of all, we need to import another particular package, another option. So from Tkinter import ttk, right? That's what we need to build our particular tabs, right? The individual tabs. Okay. Then now we need to be able to set some interesting stuff. So let's go with our tab controller. So tab control is going to be our ttk.notebook, because these stuff are notebooks. Notebook, then we're going to pass in our window. Then we're going to pass it. So this is the basic way of creating a tab controller, right? So this is going to create our notebook for us for our tab. But to be able to make it in the other side, you have to work on it. So let's create our individual tabs. Let's go to tab. So tab 1 is going to be our TT frame. Then tab controller, right? Tab control, not tab controller. So that's the first one. And let's repeat it for the second one. So let's make it as 2. Perfect. Now we have been able to create a frame. Now we need to be able to add some particular stuff to it. So let's call it as let's add our tabs. So to add the tabs to notebook is going to be our tab controller dot add, then the particular tab, so tab 1. Then let's give it a test. So let's call it as test is equal to the particular name I want to give. So let's call it as, you say, home, right? Then I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. It's going to be the individual ones. So this is going to be tab 2. Then this is going to be our file. Okay, so if I save it now, then the next we need to do is that to be able to allow this one to work, we need to be able to pack it up, right? So it's tab control dot pack. Then we are going to expand it. Expand is equal to 1. Then fill both, so that it fills to the full block. So now let's run this particular stuff here. So that Tkinter is, I misspelled the Tkinter here. T I was in a hurry. Tkinter. Let's run it again. Perfect. So now see that it has been able to create our tabs for us. We have our home, our file, and our home tab. But what we want is that we want to be able to position this home and file tab beside this place, just like in the previous one we had, just like here. We don't want to position it. We don't want to position at the top here, right? It's nice, but we want to position it beside here, right? So that it just changes. So now let's see how to do that. So to be able to position it from that particular, we're going to import another. We're going to use another procedure. So we're going to use the styles format, right? So let's call it as, let's bring it as the style. The style is going to allow us to use to position it in a different position. So let's call it style or style. Then we're going to call ttk.style. Then we're going to pass in our window. Perfect. So we need to set the position of it. So let's see how to do that. So I'm going to configure my style. Dot configure. I'm going to set the particular location and then the particular point I want it to be. So let's go to the left tab dot t notebook, right? Perfect. Then we need to be able to set the particular position. So tab position. So tab is equal to WN. So west north. That means that we have west south, west north. We have east south, east north, right? So let's make it as west south or west north rather. Okay. So if I save it now, I've done it. So the next thing that we have to bring this particular style inside our notebook to tell this notebook that now position this particular note tabs that we have based on this configuration that I have here. That's the basic idea about it. So how do we do that? So I'm just going to bring my style here. Define the style. It's going to be our left tab. So left.t notebook. Perfect. So let's save it and see the end result of what we have done so far. So let's run it and see. Perfect. See that now it has changed the location to this side, right? So in case I want it to be on the east, I want it to be on this side, I can just make it, if in case I want it to be down, right, I can just go with WS. Then if I close this and I run it again, so now it is down, right? So the WS here means that west south, right? West south. So that is the basic idea. So if I make it N, that means that it's going to be on the north. Perfect. So that is the basic idea about it. So that's the basic idea about it, right? Perfect. Now let's see the next thing we're going to do. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to work on each and every individual of them. So we had our home, we have our file. So let's duplicate this URL and then compare. URL, then tab 3, tab 4 is going to be our compare. Then let's place the last one. So let me duplicate this because it's going to be the same thing. If I save it and run it back again, now we have our 5 different tabs. So we have our home, our file, our URL, and our about page. Perfect. So see that this is okay, but we have to make it to have the same size, right? So that it looks interesting. So there's a work around it, how to work around it. So you can just use the normal F format to do that by putting it here. So let's see how to do that. It's going to be our F string. Give us the same size. There's no way around it, but the only way you can do is to use the F string and then add some space to it. So let's use the F string. We're going to put in our values that we have here, but raised to the power, let's say 20 tabs or 20 space or something. So 20 space. I'm going to close it. Then that is it, right? So with this, we will be able to increase some interesting space around it. So I made a mistake somewhere. The mistake was here, so let's correct it and let's run it again. Perfect. So now see that now the space is better than the previous one. It has added some bigger space for it, which is quite interesting, right? So we are going to work with our tabs. Now let's move on to the next step you can do by adding the individual tab to work on all of them. So we are done with the tab layout. Now let's go on with our labels, our individual labels. So I can put the labels here. So let's put as our labels. Then the labels can be our label 1, label 2. So label 1 is going to be our label. Then our tab 1, we're going to give it our test, right? So let's call that our test. It could be, let's say, Summaryzer. Then let's give it a pad X 5 and a pad Y. Then we need to set the grid, right? Because all of them works in grid. So it's going to be label 1 dot grid. Then the grid is, as we already know, that the grid always work in a particular format, right? So you have to get the grid for it. So if I run this here that we have, we need to set the grid. So this is 0 and 0 row, 0 column, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. So we have to set the grid perfectly for it, right? That's the essence of the grid format here. So it's going to go with this particular format of column, go to 0, and then our row is go to 0, right? So that's the basic idea about it. So if I save it here and then I run it, perfect. So that now it is here, right? Perfect. So we are working on this. So it's only found on the home because the tab is tab 1, right? So we need to repeat it for the remaining different tabs. So let me duplicate it, all of them. It's going to be based on what we have so far. So the file, processing, and this is going to be for our URL. Perfect. So perfect. So let's change it for 2, tab 3, tab 4, tab 5. Let's if I run it again, we have Summaryzer, file. Perfect. Everything is working well. So let's be fast so that you can work on this well. So we are done with our labels. The next thing we need to do is to work on the individual stuff, right? So we work on the functions, then we work on the individual tabs. So the main tab, then we work on the individual tab. So we're going to work up from that to the file, process first one. So the main tab is that, let's work on the main tab. So I'm just going to create a label. So L1 going to be our label, then tab 1, then test, You know what, let me copy this one because it's almost the same thing. So let's copy this one here. Let's change it one to L1. L1, right? So tab 1. Then here is going to be our main file. So let's go to enter test to summarize. Perfect, and then that is it, right? So here is not going to be column 0 and then row 1. So if I save it, I come back to here. So we have enter test to summarize. Quite interesting. We need to be able to add some entry stuff to it. So let's go to entry. It's going to be our test entry. Then we're going to supply the particular stuff we want to put there, right? So tab 1. And then let's give the height of, let's say, 10. Then let's supply the grade. So entry dot grade. Then you can just move on to the other one. So I think it's better I change this one, right? So this is going to be our row 2, right, column 1, column 0, and you can also supply the particular span of all of those things. So let's call that column span is equal to 2, then a row, we don't need a row span, let's pad x, let's save it. Okay, so we have an interesting tab, right, which is quite interesting, but you need to be able to bring the scroll start to be able to scroll there because some of the text can be plenty. So how do we do that? So let's close it and let's choose the scroll test. So scroll test. So to work with the scroll test, I have to import it from above. So let's import from scroll test Tkinter scroll test, right? Oh, perfect. So that's the next one we need to do. So let me import the other one for the, so that when we read it, we don't need to import Tkin file dialog. So we have import Tkinter.file dialog, and we have this one. So this is going to help us with our scroll test. So let's come back to this, and if I run it here, now you see that we're going to have our scroll test here. Perfect. See that you have our scroll test here. Perfect. Now we are done with our test. Now how do we, now let's create our buttons. Then after creating the buttons, you see how to get the test and then use it somewhere else. With individual buttons, so look at that button 1, button, and then tab 1 because we are working on tab 1. Then test is going to give us this called as reset. To reset it, then we're going to set a width of it. So let's set a width of, let's say 12 or something, or a different number like 12. Then you can set the background color of, let's give it as green, right? What kind of green do we need? You can use a WhatsApp green. The foreground color is going to be FF. And a button, now we need to position this button somewhere. So button 1 dot, position it in a particular place that we can actually work with it. Grid. Then I'm positioning it where at row, this is row 2, so let's position at row 4. Row 4, column 0. And let's put the same stuff that we had here for the pad and there. So let's make it, instead of pad 5 and 5, let's make it pad 10. Perfect. So if I run it here again, so I made a mistake somewhere. That explains why when we are writing the code, it should be running perfect. So we have our pad here, right? We have our button for reset here. This button doesn't do anything, so we need to repeat the particular button for the rest of the buttons. So let me repeat them for all the different buttons we need to work on. I'll copy and paste them so that it will be very fast, right? So that you don't need to spend a lot of time. Perfect. So we are going to create a reset button, a summarize button, a clear button, and a save button with different colors. So the next thing we need to do is that we need to create functions. So I've already created a function for clear test, another function to get the summary, another function to get the results, another function to save the function. We need to create these individual functions here. So let's create these functions at the top here. So we have clear function test. So it's going to be a simple function to clear all the results and to clear all the first stuff there that we have. So def get summary. You're not passing in argument. You're not passing in argument. So raw. It's going to be our entry dot get. So the entry dot get is going to allow us to get whatever thing that we are typing here, whatever stuff we are typing inside this particular entry. It's going to get it for us, right? And then we are going to get it as 1.0. The reason it's 1.0 is that because you're using scroll test. In case it was entry or it was Only if it was entry, then we don't need to bring any value there, right? It's going to just go straight away with it. If it was entry, it's going to be like that, but because it is a scroll test or a test, we need to bring the 1.0. Then the next thing we need to do is that we need to set this as tk.end. It can be just n, any of them will do it. So we are going to get our test, and the next thing we need to do is that we need to get our final test. So final, and that's our test. Then we're going to supply that test to a particular function. So let's go to raw test. Perfect. So we need to, this is what we're going to be doing all the calculation, all the mathematics or summarization behind. So I'm going to import these particular packages from the top. Our NLP packages is going to be from SpaCy underscore Summaryzer, summarization, import test Summaryzer. So this SpaCy.Summaryzer is coming from here, right? SpaCy Summaryzer, SpaCy summarization, and then nltk summarization. So let me copy and paste this one. That we have our nltk summarization, Then from nltk summarization, we have the particular function called nltk summarizer. So that's what will be important here. Okay, so we have our two functions being imported. So let's add that particular function here. So it's going to be our test summarizer or SpaCy. Then we are applying that particular stuff. So the result is going to be stored inside the final test. Now, how do we display that final test somewhere? So let's try it and see. So let's print the final test. So final test. So let me save it, and then so that we will see what it's getting out, right? Now, how do we get the test inside our particular place? How do we get the test here? So to get the test there, we need to create a display button for it. So let's call it as display. So it's going to be simple, something simple. So let's go to tab 1. Tab 1 display. It's going to be our test file, or you can make it a scroll test if you want. So scroll. Then we're going to apply our tab 1. Then we can give it a height of, let's say, 10. Then the next thing we need to do is that we need to be able to position it. So tab 1 display dot grade. Where do we want to position it? We want to position it in a particular place. So the place I'm going to put it, I want you to put it maybe row 7, very low, and column, like the previous column where we have been having 0. Then you can set the span. So column span, let's go to, let's say, 3. Then we can bring the pad and then all of these steps. So we have been able to get our display test, right, for these ones. So that is how to get that. Is a mistake error. So perfect. So we have been able to work with it in a very simple way. Now let's work on how to get all these files. We have created a function, get summary. We know where to place it, right? So how do we place our test? So to place our test, now we're going to put it in that particular option, that particular location, using the insect, the tab insect. So it's going to be our tab result. Let's go to result. Let's put in a very nice format or a normal format. So /n summary, right? Then we're just going to use a normal format. So format, then final result, final test or final result. Then we're going to place our insert our result into that particular display. Dot insert. So we are inserting in a particular location. Dot at the end of it, right? So that it's keep on going on forever. You don't insert it before, we set it at the end of it. So we have one for our test, for our get summary. So now let's create another function for the clear test, and then for our clear display result, and then our save result. So first of all, let's see whether this one is working. So to allow us to see whether it's going to work, I'm going to comment these ones out, and then comment this one out, right, so that we see whether it's working. So let's save it, and then let's run again, because until we define the function, it's going to give us an error. Okay, so now you see that we have the two stuff here. So you let me paste in a test and see whether it's going to come. So copy, and let's paste in this particular test here. Then let's summarize it. Perfect, now it's working, right? So it's even showing it here, then it's also showing here. That means that our app is working, our summary is working in a very nice format for us. Okay, perfect. So then let's move on to the next step we'll be doing. So the next step is to work on the individual functions, right? So we have to create a clear test function, and we have to create clear display result function. So let's work on it. So I'm going to call it as my clear functions. I'm going to define clear test. And the clear test will not take any arguments, and it goes with our entry dot delete. So we are deleting everything there at 1.0 because of the location, because it's a display, right? This is clear test. So we're going to remove that particular stuff. Then enter. So let's do another one for our clear display. It's going to be our clear display test, clear display result rather. Then here is going to be almost the same thing, but this is not going to be entry, but this is rather going to be our tab display, tab 1 display, right? That is because that is where we inserted it. Perfect. So we have one for that. Now let's comment this one out for the save, and let's run it and see whether it's going to work. Perfect. So we have the results reset here. We have it. So let me place hello reset. It's clean. So let's put in hello. Let's summarize hello to be the same thing. Clear result is working, right? So the result is working. So now the next we need to do is work on the save button. So how do we save it? So this is going to be the normal Python function. So let's call it as def save summary. Save summary function. So the simplest way of saving a particular stuff in Python is that you're going to continue the same thing that we have here, the same stuff we have, because that's exactly the same thing. Then from here, before we get the result, then we are going to save it using the normal Python function of with open of a particular document, right? So this is what we're using to save our particular stuff. It's almost the same stuff we'll be having. So let's save it as our file name. So it was a file name. So we need to construct the name. So how do we construct the name? So we're using another simple format of constructing the name using the time format. So let's import those particular packages. So import time. And so we're using import time to work on it. So this is going to be our other packages. Right? These are not so perfect. So how do we do that? So I'm just going to go. This is just a simple way of getting the current time using the year, month, date, and then hours, minutes, seconds. So I'm just going to use this particular stuff to construct our file, right? The name of the file. So file name is going to be our, let's call it as your summary plus you're concatenating it our time string plus let's say .txt. Perfect. Now we're going to open it. So it's open the name of the file name as writable as f. So f dot write. So what are you writing there? We're going to write some particular stuff. So what do we want to write? We want to write the particular stuff there, right? So we are writing whatever thing we are getting, the result, the final test result into here. So it can be final test, right? So we're going to write that final test on that particular test file. Quite interesting. That is it. That's all we need to do. Okay. So let's bring this one again so that it will show to the person that we have finished saving it. So results, then let's go to as file name. Perfect. So to duplicate this same stuff here back. Perfect, right? So we have name of file, we have the name of file, and then the name, right? So we're going to put it perfectly in a very nice format for us. So let's save it, and then let's run our final function and see whether it's going to work. Perfect. So we have some interesting stuff here. So let me paste in my test, our favorite test. So paste it here. Summarize is working. So let's clear our results and then let's save. If you see that the name of the file has to be saved here, and then the summary there. So if I go back to check here, we have our file here with our test there. Quite interesting. So we are going to do with our first aspect of the app at the home format. So that's how to work with it. So now let's move on to our file, our URL, and then our comparer. Okay, perfect. So let's move on very fast because of the time. I'll just close it. Then let's move on to, so I'll copy and paste it so that it becomes very faster, right? Instead of repeating the same stuff over and over again. So we have gotten the same idea, right? So this is for our file processing. So it's going to be just the same stuff we did for that, but we're going to be changing the function. So let me copy and paste so that it becomes faster. Okay, perfect. So it is quite the same stuff we have been doing so far, the same label, and then the same buttons we are doing. The only thing we'll be doing is that we'll be changing the individual functions. That's the basic idea. So let's see what I mean by that. So this is going to be for our file process. We are using the tab 2, then the label, then we have our button, our first button for to open the file, to reset, to summarize, to clear result, and then to close. So we need to create individual functions for this. Open files function, clear test function, get file summary, and then clear test result, right? So let's see how to do that. So I'm just going to create my functions at the top here. So the next function is that we need to create a function to open the file. So open. So we're going to be def open file. So we're going to open the file and then process it. So open file, then how are we going to open the file? We're just going to use this file. One is going to be Tkinter file dialog, right? Tkinter file dialog with ask open file name, right? And then here we're going to supply the file type, which is going to be the type of the file that we want, right? File type. Then this goes with the particular stuff. So let's call it as test file. So you can just give it any name. Then the extension is going to be .txt. Perfect. Then you can also add another one to it so that it doesn't look. You can also be able to accept other files. But here you can actually restrict it with this particular stuff. So let's call it as all files. Then we're going to bring our asterisk to receive any kind of file, right? Perfect. So after receiving the file, we're going to read the file. So let's call it as read or test. Then open the file. Opening that particular file that we have, so file 1.read. So we are opening it, then we are reading it, right? In a very simple way. We don't need this. See what I did. Okay, perfect. So we are going to open the file, then I'm going to read it. So when we read it, we want to display the result. So display file .insert tk.end then the name of the file that we have. So read test. Perfect. So that's how to open the file. So this, when you open it, when we open the particular file, we are going to insert a result here in this particular option, right? That's where the result is going to be. So we are opening it, we are showing the result here, and then we are showing the result of the open file here and the result of the summarize file here. That's the basic idea about it. So yeah, we are done with one function. Now let's see whether it works by commenting all of these things out, the one that we don't use now, so that we don't make mistakes, the ones that we are not going to be using, right? Let me comment those one out. So let's run it and see whether it's going to work. Perfect. So it's working. Now if I come to my file, I can open a file. Perfect. So we can be able to open a particular file, then it's showing the result here, right? Very nice, very simple, and very easy. So we have the scroll to scroll it very well. So you can close it perfectly. So to close, you can just use the normal window that destroys to close it. Now let's work on the individual function. These particular functions of the reset, of the summarize. We have already done the how to open the file. So we need to get the clear test, the file summary, and then the clear test result. So let's work on that above here. So it's going to be our function for def clear test result, or whatever name that you want to give it. So let's call that clear test file, right? That's the name of the one we are creating. We're going to do the same stuff we had, which is going to be our display file, because we are opening a file, dot delete, just like we had here. Then we're going to do the same stuff we have as 1.0, then end. That is, we are done with one function. We need to go to work on the next function, which is going to be our results. So let me copy this one here. So we are able to work on two different functions. Now let's work on the other function for our summary. So the basic idea for the summary is that we have been able to receive the file here, right? We're able to read the file. That's exactly almost the same ideology you're going to use to create the remaining aspect. So it's going to be just like this. So let me copy this one here, then use it here, right? We'll copy it and then modify it to see that, because it's almost the same idea. So we are going to call that get test summary or file summary. File summary. Now for test display, instead of the entry here, now we are storing everything inside this display test file, right? So because we are storing there, we are not going to use the entry, we are going to use a display file, because that's where we are storing it. Then one and everything is okay. Perfect. So that is it. Then here is going to be our tab 2 instead of tab 3. So this display test file here, the one that we cleared, which is this display test file here, this one. That's why we are showing it there. So almost the same stuff we are doing, right? There's totally different that you are just reading it now from the displayed file. So let's take off this. We don't need this one. Let's save it. Perfect. So let's go to our file and open a file, our favorite file, print, summarize. Wow, it's working now. So everything is working here perfectly. So I can clear the results, I can reset it, and I can close it. So then let's move on to the next option that we have to do, right? So we are able to do most of them. Now we need to work on the URL, right? So how do we do that? So I've already copied it as we did previously. So I'm going to uncomment it out and explain it. Perfect. So it's just the same stuff we had here. So let me comment this. Same stuff. So the basic idea for the URL is that we're just going to create a simple label. We are creating, in this case, we are not creating a test file, we are creating an entry file, right? So entry file, then we are just using the same normal grid, then we are setting the different buttons like we did previously. Right? So we need to create a function for clear URL, then get the test, another one for the display, and then for the URL. So we are going to put the URL displayed here. That's where we're going to show the result, right? And then this place is going to be for the final result. This is going to be what you're going to fetch from the website, and this is where you're going to be displayed after summarizing our test. So let me save it, and then let's work on these individual functions. Clear URL, and let's work on the clear and then the get test. So it's going to be the same, almost the same thing. So I'll copy these ones and repeat them. So this is going to be clear URL, or let's make it something simple, right? So it's going to be clear your entry, then here is not going to be display file, here is going to be entry, or whatever the name is, which was entry or URL entry, right? URL entry. Then here, because it's an entry file, it's not going to be 1.0, it's rather going to be 0, because an entry file, right? It's not like a test file, it's just an entry, so it's going to be 0, or without this particular value, it's going to be 0. Then the next one is going to be our clear URL display. Perfect. And here is not going to be display test file. It's going to be a tab 3 display, right? Which was the one here. For this one, tab 3 display, right? So we have this one, which we are not going to clear it. This is what we are going to clear. So we have two different functions for our clear test. Now let's move on to the next function for our URL function. So let's go to this URL. That's where we're going to use packages right there. NLP, the web script package. So let's import those particular packages that we'll be using for it. So the package you'll be using is beautiful soup, and then, or you can use mechanical soup if you want. It's going to be from bs4 import beautiful soup. Then you also need to import URL. So from URL lib, most often, since this is Python 3, just go with request and import URL open. Right, perfect. So we have them to work with. If it was Python 2, just go straight away without this. Right, perfect. Now we are going to import our web scraping packages to fetch our website, to fetch our data. So let's create our function. So def get test to get our test from the website. Doesn't take any argument. Then we're going to go with our raw test. This is going to be the same thing that we have been doing so far, right? Going to be our raw test. Go our particular stuff. So string. I converted them to string. Then URL entry. So the URL entry is coming from this particular stuff here, right? This URL entry. That's where it's coming from. So URL entry get, because it's an entry, you're not going to supply any value because it's just an entry. So get. Then when we receive that particular stuff, we're going to build a page using the URL open, using the URL lib row open, right? URL open to open the particular file, particular website. Then when you go to that website, you're going to build a soup, which is going to be using beautiful soup to fetch our data. So we can just use a normal page, and you can also use LSM to make it beautiful. So LSM, LSML, light MSL, light SML. Okay. Then the next thing we need to do is that we need to fetch the test. So fetch, let's go as fetch test. Then we're going to join them together, right? So most websites, the tests are usually found in the p tag. So it's that same idea of the text being the p tag, because if you go to this particular website here, then you check it, most of the sites, most websites have their p tag. Most websites have their text in their p tag. So you'll be fetching all the p tag, right? So if you check this particular website here, see, most of them are in the pp tags, right? So we want to fetch all these pp tags because that's where most of the tests are. So we're going to just build a simple map function to do that. So let's call it as join. We're going to join all of them, fetch all of them, and then join them. So let's call it as something simple. So lambda p, then lambda p dot test dot soup. Then I'm going to find all of them. So find and last for all. We're going to find all the p tags, right? All the individual p tags. P. Perfect. So we are going to find all the p tags. We have to use a map function to be able to get all of them and then join them together. So map. Then we need to join them together. So back in, join. Don't join, right? So we are joining them together in a very simple and a very nice way. So we are done with it. So the next thing that we need to be able to insert it in a place that you can see is the URL display dot insert. It's going to be just like the previous one we have been doing so far, which is this same test that we have here. So let me paste it. It's almost the same, and then change this one to fetch result. Perfect. So we have our test file. So that's how to get a test. Now, after getting the test, we need to be able to process the test. So let's create another function for it. It's going to be our df get URL summary. Then here it's going to go straight away than the previous one you have been doing so far. So let me copy this one because it's almost the same stuff. I mean, it's almost the same stuff, right? Once you're able to understand a particular concept, it's quite easy. So here we are not getting it from the display file, we're getting it from the URL display. So that is the difference. So URL display. That is all that we'll be doing for this particular function. So it's almost the same stuff there. Then we're going to display the result at our third display. Perfect. Right? So that is it. So we have saved it. Now let's try it and see whether it's going to work. Okay, so there was no error so far. So if I go to my URL, let's paste in a test. I hope that didn't take time. Let's paste the same test we have here. Now let's get test. So if you check the result, it was not able to fetch the result because just telling us a problem about the map function, right? So there's a problem here. So let's work on this particular function. Map must have at least 2 arguments, and one was given. So map must have at least 2 arguments. So this is just one argument. Okay, this one is not supposed to be a dot, it's supposed to be a comma. So because it's having 2 arguments, so let's change the soup to a comma. Perfect. So let's run it again. Perfect. Now let's come to our URL. Let's paste in our URL, our favorite URL from Nikola Tesla, and then let's get a test. Perfect. Now it was able to get a test, right? Very interesting. So now to able to get the test. So if you want to summarize, when I click on summarize, to pick this test from here, then summarize it inside this place. Summarize it in a very simple way, right? Wow. So all these plenty tests have been summarized in a very simple way. Perfect. Now let's clear the result. It's working. Reset is working. Let's close it. Perfect. So we are done with most of them. Now the next thing we need to work on is with the comparer stuff, right? With the comparer. So let's see how to work with that one in this particular session, in this particular aspect. This is going to be our comparer tab. So I'll copy and paste because it's almost the same thing. I'll copy it and paste because it's almost the same thing, so that we don't spend a lot of time there. Perfect. So this is going to be our comparer tab, right? So this is going to be enter test to summarize. So the comparer tab is just like the previous one we did for the main tab here, right? It's the same thing, but the only thing that we are adding some more functions to it. We're not only just going to be using get summary from SpaCy, but we're using nltk, Gensim, and then all of these things. So that's the basic idea. So just the same stuff we did, right? But tab 4. Then we are going to use a scroll test. Then we're going to bring different tabs. So we're going to be a clear compare test, use SpaCy, that's the name of the function we're creating, use nltk, use Gensim, and then use sumy. So we need to create functions for each and every of them. So let's create these functions at the top here. So let's call it as compare functions. So there are 2 functions. So def use SpaCy, and the function will be created, right? Perfect. So we have already imported SpaCy from top, imported SpaCy and then nltk. So we need to also import another package to help us with our Gensim stuff, right? So let's call it as Gensim. So we'll be importing that one for Gensim. So from Gensim summarize, or you can make it like be more explicit and make it like from Gensim summarization dot Summaryzer, right? So there are 2 different options. So any of them is going to work. I don't know why they made it like that, but any of them is going to work. Perfect. Then we are done with this. So the next we need to do is that we need to be able to include the one for our sumy, right? The sumy function. So let's work on a sumy one. So it's going to be, let me put the same sumy totally separate from that. Yes, right. So this is a package for the sumy. So these are individual packages. The plaintext tokenizer, the let's rank summarizer. And I've created a simple function to work on all those things we're doing for sumy, right? So that is the basic idea about this, right? Okay, perfect. Now let's work on the individual functions. So we have our get use SpaCy, then we have our use sumy, and then all the individual functions. So we're just going to repeat the same stuff we had in the previous one, but instead of, we're going to repeat the same stuff we had like these ones. So let me copy this one, the first one, so that you see that it's almost the same thing, right? So I'm going to copy this because that's the first function that we're using, right? The same position, the same one. So raw test, we're going to get it stuff there, whatever we're going to get it from there. Then we're going to change this one. So this is use SpaCy, right? So this one is going to be the same stuff as the previous one because there's no change. Then let's move on to the next one, which is going to be our use Gensim or use any of them. So def use nltk. So here we had it as display tab, so this is going to be display tab 4, right? Because that is the name of the comparer function. Display, tab 4 display, right? Tab 4 display. Then the scroll, it was scroll test here 4. So, and then it was entry 1. Entry 1. Perfect. So we have been able to work with it. The same thing we're going to be doing for the next one for the nltk. So let me copy this one, paste it here, then another one for the Gensim. So use Gensim, and then the next one for the sumy. So let's use sumy. Okay, so the only thing we're going to be changing in this particular stuff is that to be changing this individual function. So this is nltk. So we're going to be using the nltk Summaryzer, nltk, which we imported from above. Then for the Gensim, we're going to be using Gensim Summarize. So Gensim Summarize. Then for the sumy, we are going to use our sumy function that we created, which is the sumy function here, right? Sumy summary. Wow, this is quite a long tutorial. Perfect. Right, so we are going to work with it. So we can convert this one to string if you want to. Perfect. So we are going to get our use Gensim, use nltk, use sumy, and then use SpaCy, right? Perfect. So that is the basic stuff we have done so far. So we need to be able to clear our stuff, to clear compare test, clear compare display result as the clear functions. So just put the same stuff that we have. So compare test. So perfect. We are done with it. Then this is going to be display 4, and this is going to be entry number 1. Perfect. So we are done with it. Now let's open it and see if it's going to work. Perfect. It's giving us some warning, but it's still going to work. So we have our file, we have our URL, we have our comparer, right? So if I paste in a test here inside here, I can use SpaCy, so that's giving us a result. I can use nltk, it's giving us a result. I can use sumy, then it is giving us another result, right, with the sumy particular stuff, which is quite interesting. Gensim will giving us another result. So that is the basic idea about it. So if I can clear it, let's clear the result. I can also reset it. So we are going to build a simple app from scratch to here with all the home, which works perfectly. Everything works now. The file, can open a file, giving us the result. Summarize, can clear the result, you can reset. We have for the URL, you can paste in the URL. As the comparer, you can paste the test and check based on this of them. Then we have the about. So the about, there's nothing there, right? So just quite simple to do the about. It's just something simple, something interesting, right? So that is it. So thank you for watching this long tutorial. In case you have any question or contribution, you can just put it inside. There's this one. Okay, there's something here that I wanted to apply to, but you can also use it later on. The code be below so that I can also check it. So thank you for watching this long tutorial through all that we have done. So the main idea is we're going to import our core packages from here. We're going to import some other packages to build our time, and import all the NLP packages that you'll be using, such as NLPK, SpaCy, nltk, Gensim, then also sumy. Then we're going to import our web scrubbing packages. We're going to build individual functions, right, for working up with all of these things. We're going to create a simple GUI, the title. We're going to use this particular option here. Let me expand it. Use this particular option of the style to position our tabs in this particular site. Position us in this particular site. Then we need to create individual tabs for these ones. These are the individual tabs that we created using this particular option. And then we created the name. We use this particular option to allow us to have some enough space. That is why we use this string formatting. Then we created some labels, which is going to be all these labels that's appearing here. Then we created functions for each and every of the buttons, right? So this is some huge level of functions to clear the function, to open a file, to process our test. So these are all individual functions created. Then we just design the labels. The label, the entry, doing the scroll test, then the buttons, each and every of them, then supply the command for each and every one of them. That's the basic idea about this app. We thank you for watching this long tutorial. In case you have any question or contribution, just press in the comment section below so that everybody can benefit. And please don't forget to subscribe and then check the links below for some interesting courses on Julia and some other interesting stuff. Thank you and stay blessed.